As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself, the other for helping others. Maya Angelou. Black leaders like Angela Davis, Audre Lorde, Erica Hudgens, and Rosa Parks understood that self-care wasn't luxury, it was necessity. Yoga, meditation, and rest helped them stay grounded, replenish energy, and maintain their strength physically, emotionally, and mentally through struggle and adversity. They knew that taking care of the body and mind was vital, not only for their own health, but also for sustaining their activism and service to their communities. Their legacy teaches us that self-care fuels community care, and together, they have the power to inspire change, transform lives, and build stronger communities. Historically, Black communities have faced systemic barriers to health and wellness, inequality, discrimination, economic and geographic limitations, and stigma. Access to healthcare and self-care resources is a basic human right. Yet these challenges often make it difficult to prioritize well-being in the midst of daily life. Yoga, in particular, is a powerful practice that nourishes the body, mind, and spirit. It builds strength, enhances flexibility, and reduces stress and tension. It cultivates mindfulness, self-love, and emotional resilience. But yoga is more than an individual practice. It is a practice of community care. When we move, breathe, and heal together, we create space for collective strength, connection, and transformation. By prioritizing well-being, we uplift not only ourselves, but also our communities. So today, let's honor Black history by taking care of ourselves and each other, moving with intention, breathing with purpose, and creating space for collective healing and support. To begin, find a quiet, open space where you can move freely without distractions. A yoga mat is great if you have one, but optional. Blocks and an extra blanket can also be helpful but aren't necessary. Set up in a way that feels cozy and supportive for you. As we move through this practice, remember to listen to your body, respect your body's limits, and honor what feels best for you today. This practice is adaptable and is here to support you. So if a pose doesn't feel right, feel free to ease up, modify it, or skip it. Now enjoy your practice. Hey friend, welcome to Natora Yoga. My name is Gigi and I'm happy to be your guide through today's yoga practice. Let's settle in. Sit cross-legged on your mat in easy seat. Optional, place a folded blanket or block under your sitting bones to elevate your hips and reduce strain on your knees and your lower back. Once you find a comfortable seat, evenly distribute your weight across both of your sitting bones. Ground down and feel the support of the surface beneath you. Lengthen your spine. Allow your shoulders to relax down away from your ears. Keep your hands resting comfortably on your thighs with the palms facing down. To help turn your attention inward, soften your gaze at a point in front of you or gently close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your breath. Breathe at a pace that feels comfortable for you right now. Notice the natural rhythm of your inhalations and exhalations without trying to control it. Maybe feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest or belly as you breathe, the expanding and contracting of your rib cage, or the sensation of the breath entering and exiting through your nostrils. With each breath, imagine releasing any tension or stress, allowing your body to soften and your mind to settle. Keep your hands resting comfortably on your thighs or lap, or I invite you to either bring both hands to your heart or bring one hand to your heart and the other to your belly. Feel the gentle rhythm of your heartbeat. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. On the next breath, gently release your hands down and open your eyes. Let's start by warming up the body, then we'll move into some yoga poses to help ground and restore both your body and mind. Beginning with our wrist circles, bring your palms to touch in front of you. Interlace your fingers and slowly rotate your hands in one direction. Pause at center and reverse the direction of your circle. Pause at center, release your clasp, and gently release your hands down. Moving into our neck circles, drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale, circle your head to the right. Exhale, left. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. One more, inhale. Exhale. Pause at center and reverse the direction of your circle. Inhale, circle your head to the left. Exhale, right. Inhale, circle left. Exhale, right. One more, inhale. Exhale. Pause at center and lift your chin from your chest. Moving into our shoulder rolls, inhale your shoulders up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale your shoulders up. Exhale, back and down. One more, inhale. Exhale. Pause at center and reverse the direction of your roll. Inhale your shoulders back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. One more, inhale. Exhale. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Let's transition onto our hands and knees for table pose. If you were sitting on a block or a blanket, you can set it out to the side. And in table pose, stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Tuck your back toes. And moving into cat-cow to warm up our spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your gaze. Exhale, push the mat away from you. Round your spine and tilt your tailbone down for cat pose. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your gaze. Exhale, push the mat away from you, round your spine, tilt your tailbone down. One more. Inhale for cow pose. Exhale for cat pose. Inhale, spine back to neutral, table pose. Bring your big toes to touch. Take your knees wide, sit your hips back and down. Sitting your hips back on your heels, your arms are extended out in front of you. Rest your forehead down on the mat. Let's take a couple of deep breaths and rest in child's pose. Rest is essential. Press into your hands to lift your hips back up into table pose. Shoulders over wrists, hips over your knees. Moving into our leg opening sequence. Inhale to extend your right leg long. Exhale, bring your right knee in towards your chest. Step your right foot forward between your hands. You can come onto your fingertips or use blocks. Press down through your feet. Engage your leg muscles. Draw your navel to your spine to engage your core as you lift your upper body. Clasp your hands and place them on top of your right thigh. Draw your navel to your spine to engage your core and maintain balance and stability in low lunge. Breathe deeply. Bring your hands back onto your blocks or onto the mat. Walk your hands back as you straighten your front leg. Keep a slight bend in your knee and flex your toes towards your shin to protect your knee for half splits. Fold over your leg. Breathe deeply. Inhale to walk your hands forward, framing your front foot. If you had blocks, you can set them off to the side. Plant your hands and step your right foot back, table pose. Press into your hands, engage your arm muscles, draw your navel to your spine to engage your core. Tuck your toes if they're not tucked already, and lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. And in downward facing dog, you can keep your knees bent as much as you need. Breathing deeply here. Shift forward and bring your knees back down onto the mat for table pose. Now let's move to the other side. Inhale, extend your left leg long. Exhale, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Step your left foot forward between your hands. You can come onto your fingertips or you can use blocks. Press into your feet. Use the strength of your legs and core as you lift your upper body. Clasp your hands and place them on top of your left thigh. Draw your navel to your spine to engage your core. Your hips are facing forward. You are engaging your legs. Breathe deeply. Bring your hands back down onto your blocks or mat. And walk your hands towards the back of your mat as you straighten your front leg. Keep a slight bend in your knee and flex your toes towards your shin to protect your knee. Fold over your leg, keeping your spine long. Half split. Take a deep breath in and out. And walk your hands forward, framing your front foot. You can set your blocks off to the side. Plant your hands and step your left foot back, table pose. Press into your hands, engage your arm muscles, draw your navel to your spine, And lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Keep your knees bent as much as you need. Option to walk your dog by extending your heel towards the ground and bending the opposite knee and switching sides. You may feel an opening in the backs of your legs. Come back to a bent knee, downward facing dog. Moving into our vinyasa. Shift forward, bringing your shoulders over your wrists. You can extend your legs long, or you can bring your knees down onto the mat, whichever works best for you. In plank pose, press down into your hands. Engage your arm muscles, draw your navel to your spine to engage your core. As you slowly lower, keeping your elbows close to your body, rest your forehead on the mat. Your hands are underneath of your elbows. Your hands are underneath of your shoulders. Press the tops of your feet into your mat. Keep your elbows close to your body as you lift your head, neck, and chest for cobra pose. Lift to whichever height feels best for you. Inhale. Exhale, rest your forehead onto the mat. Press into your hands to lift your hips back up. Table pose. Press into your hands, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Inhale to gaze towards the top of your mat. Exhale with bent knees, take small baby steps to the top of your mat. Taking your time. Bring your feet hips distance apart or wider. Hinge at your hips to fold over your legs. Drop your head, neck, and chest for forward fold. Inhale to straighten your legs. Bring your hands onto your shins or onto blocks for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Drop your head, neck, and chest. Press into your feet and use the strength of your legs and core as you slowly roll up to stand, one vertebra at a time. Inhale your arms up overhead for extended mountain pose. Exhale, bring your hands down through heart center and release your hands by your sides. Mountain pose. In mountain pose, ground down through your feet. Engage your leg muscles. Keep a slight bend in your knees. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Your palms are facing forward. Gaze forward. Bring your hands onto your hips. Keep your left foot forward and step your right foot back. Your right foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Your front knee is bent. Stack your knee over your ankle. Stack your shoulders over your hips and extend your arms out into a T shape for warrior two. Gaze past your front fingers. Strong in your foundation. Breathe deeply. Bring your hands onto your hips. Turn your front foot so that it is parallel to the front of your mat. Keep a slight bend in your knees. Engage your leg muscles. Bring your hands onto your hips if they're not there already. And hinge forward and lead with your chest. Bringing your hands onto the mat, the floor, or blocks. Wide-legged forward fold. Breathe deeply. Bring your hands back onto your hips. Keep the bend in your knees. Engage your leg muscles as you slowly roll up to stand. And moving into goddess pose. Point your toes towards the outer corners of your mat, bringing your heels in. Bend your knees and see if you can sit your pelvis down. Bring your hands together at heart center in front of you. Strong in your legs, strong in your foundation. You can stay here, or you can goal post your arms. And keep your arms strong. Palms are facing forward. You may feel activation in your glutes and in your thighs and your legs. Bring your hands back onto your hips and straighten your legs. Whew. Now turn your left foot so that it is parallel to the back of your mat, or sorry, to the front of your mat. Turn your right foot so it is pointing towards the back of your mat. Bend your knee, stacking your knee over your ankle. Bring your arms out into a T shape. Gaze past your fingers, your front fingers. Warrior two. Strong in your foundation. As you gaze past your front fingers, envision the future that you want for all of us. Tapping into strength, resilience, care, and love for ourselves and our community. Take a deep breath in and out. And bring your hands onto your hips. Turn your front foot. Point your toes again towards the corners of your mat, bringing your heels in. Moving back into our goddess pose. Sit down as much as feels comfortable. Activating in your legs. Bring your hands together at heart center, or you can goal post your arms. Breathe deeply. And bring your hands back onto your hips. Straighten your legs. Turn your back foot so that it's parallel to the back of your mat. Turn your left foot so it's pointing towards the front of your mat. Bend your back leg and step your foot up to the top of the mat. Ground down through your feet. Bring your hands together at heart center. Palms touching. Plug your thumbs into your chest. You might feel your heartbeat. And I invite you here to soften your gaze or gently close your eyes just for a moment. Tapping into the strength, the resilience that you have inside, as well as the love and care. Take a deep breath in and out. And whenever you're ready, you can gently release your hands and open your eyes. Moving into tree pose, I will turn to face you so you can see me. Stand with your feet hips distance apart or wider. Bring your hands onto your hips. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Engage your leg muscles. Bend your right leg. And you can kickstand your toes into the earth and bring your foot on the inside of your foot into your ankle, the inside of your calf, or your inner thigh, making sure to avoid our knee. Stay here, strong in your foundation. You can bring your hands to touch in front of you, or you can grow your branches up and allow them to fill with leaves. for tree pose. Breathing deeply. Draw your navel to your spine to engage your core. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands back through heart center and slowly release your foot back down onto the mat. And I like to shake out my legs, and then we'll switch to the other side. Ground down through both of your feet. Strong in your foundation. Shift your weight onto your right foot. Send your roots down. Engage your leg muscles. Bend your left knee. You can kickstand your foot into the earth, bringing your foot onto your ankle, your calf, or your inner thigh, avoiding your knee. Strong in your foundation, draw your navel to your spine to engage your core. Lengthen your spine. Hands to heart center. Or you can grow your branches up overhead and allow them to fill with leaves, sending out our love and care into our communities. Breathe deeply. Inhale, bring your palms to touch. And exhale, slowly release your left foot down onto the mat and shake it out. And meet me back at the top of your mat. Mountain pose. Inhale your arms up overhead, extended mountain pose. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your hips as you fold forward through center, dropping your head, neck, and chest over your legs. Forward fold. Inhale, straighten your legs, bring your hands onto your shins or blocks for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, drop your head, neck, and chest. Plant your hands, step your right foot back, option to keep your knee up or down. Step your left foot back, option to keep your knee up or down. Plank pose. From plank pose, you can slowly lower onto the mat. Rest your forehead on the mat. Your hands are underneath of your shoulders. Press the tops of your feet into the mat as you lift your head, neck, and chest. Cobra pose. Exhale, rest your forehead back down. Press into your hands to lift your upper body back up. Engage your arm muscles, draw your navel to your spine to engage your core. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. And this time in downward facing dog, you have the option to straighten your legs a little bit if that feels good. Stretching your heels towards the mat. Or you can keep your knees bent, whichever is best for you. Take a deep breath in and out. And begin to shift forward, bringing your knees back onto the mat. Bring your big toes to touch, take your knees wide, and sit your hips back and down onto your heels, extending your arms out in front of you. Rest your forehead on the mat for child's pose. Take a couple of deep breaths here and rest. Press into your hands to lift your hips back up into table pose. Shoulders over wrists, hips over your knees. Sway your legs out to the right and sit your hips back down to the left. Extend your legs out in front of you and sit towards the center of your mat. Keep your feet flat. Bring your hands onto the back of your thighs as you slowly roll onto your back, one vertebra at a time. Once you arrive, you can bring your arms by your sides with the palms facing down. You can walk your heels in until you are able to gently graze the backs of your heels with your fingertips. And take a moment here, constructive rest. And moving into bridge pose. Press into your feet as you spin your inner thighs down and lift your hips up for bridge pose. Opening your chest, activating your glutes. Breathe deeply. Self-care and community care. That is the bridge. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower your hips back down onto the mat. You can extend your arms and legs long and wide, taking up space on the mat. Moving into our final relaxation, Shavasana. I invite you to soften your gaze or gently close your eyes. Allow your feet to fall naturally to the sides. Allow your palms to face the sky. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Relax the muscles in your face, including your jaw, your brows, your eyes, and your forehead. And let's lay here for several breaths to absorb the benefits of today's practice. Begin to deepen your breath. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes to reawaken your body. If it feels good, you can bend your knees, bring your feet flat, and hug your knees in towards your chest. If it feels good, gently rock side to side. Get a massage on your lower back. Come back to center. Bring your feet back onto the mat. Shift your hips and roll over to your favorite side to lay in the fetal position, using your bottom arm as a pillow. And take a moment here to savor this sense of care that we have cultivated in today's practice. And whenever you're ready, press into your top hand to lift your upper body back up into a comfortable seated position. Keeping your eyes lowered or closed as you sit back upright. And bring your awareness back to your breath. I invite you to take a moment to send gratitude and love to yourself. Honor yourself for showing up, for moving, breathing, and reconnecting with yourself, this moment, and our community. I offer you these 3 affirmations that you can say silently to yourself or out loud. I am worthy of rest. My self-care is my strength. By taking care of myself, I care for my community. Bring both hands to your heart, or bring one hand to your heart and the other to your belly. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Whenever you're ready, release your hands and gently open your eyes. Bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Thank you for showing up today, celebrating Black history, and sharing this practice with our online community. Self-care and community care are deeply connected. It's easy to forget that taking care of ourselves isn't selfish, it's necessary. When we care for our own well-being, we're able to show up more present, engaged, and ready to give the best we can to ourselves, our loved ones, and our communities. Yoga is more than just movement on the mat. It is a practice of creating space to breathe, listen, and be present. It is a powerful tool for supporting our mental, emotional, and physical well-being, while keeping us grounded and connected to ourselves and each other. May we honor the legacy of Black leaders by continuing to care for ourselves and our communities. If you enjoyed this yoga practice, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this class with someone who could benefit. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below sharing how you're feeling after today's class, or if something resonated with you. Your reflections help build our community of care and support. Take good care of yourself and each other, and I hope to practice with you again soon.